Man's life comes an opportunity, that brings changes for the good or for the bad. But in the case of late Dr. Gani Ikilama, those changes brought bright light to his existence. Yes, one with eyes that had never viewed the world before. These changes came at an era where civilization was at its lowest. Welcome to Against All Odds on the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, a program that brings to your doorstep the lives, the pains, the times, and of course the achievements of the physically challenged persons in our society. Today, our focus light is on late Dr. Gani Ikilama, a man who was the first black Nigerian man who went to primary, secondary, and university as a blind man. Don't go away, stay with us. We will be back very shortly. My name is Toshima Pius Ikeravi.
This is Against All Odds.
Late Gani Ikilama was the first blind student to complete primary, secondary and tertiary education in Nigeria. Born in Donga, Takum local government area of Taraba State, into the family of Mr. and Mrs. Gani Ikilama, a blacksmith and farmer, on February 25, 1944. Gani Ikilama, against all odds and challenges, attended primary and secondary school in Gendry, Plateau State, performing excellently well in his Cambridge exams. It is very important to note that he was the only blind student in a secondary school in the whole of Nigeria. Late Gani Ikilama proceeded to the London School of Physiotherapy in September 1963, where he obtained his bachelor's. 4 years later, in 1967, when Nigeria was getting prepared for the Civil War. Despite all entreaties not to come home, he eventually returned to Lagos, where he got a job as a physiotherapist at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba, where he, like other medical personnel, proved capable in assisting war victims who flooded Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Delhi during the war. He was at the hospital for 6 years. In late 1973, he joined the services of Ahmadu Bello Teaching Hospital, Zaria, where he rose to be chief physiotherapist. While in Zaria, late Gani Ikilama founded an NGO called Hope for the Blind, where he gave hope to the visually impaired. This gesture he passed on to his son, Andrew Gani Ikilama, who was one of the directors at his NGO. Upholding the passion his father had, he has continued with Knowledge for the Blind, an NGO he formed long after his dad passed on. Late Gani Ikilama breathed his last on Sunday, the 28th of February 2011, 5 days before he turned 67 years. He is survived by his wife and 6 children. Though late Dr. Gani Ikilama, rest on, his legacies and memories lingers on.
This is Against All Odds.
Thank you for letting us into the privacy of your office.
You're welcome.
May the soul of your dad rest in perfect peace.
Amen. By the way, he would have been 75 this month.
Really?
February 25.
And they would have been eating cake and all. Oh, well, you know,
We'll be hearing his laughter all over the house.
You can say that again. Yeah. They said something that it's not how long a man lives, it is how well he has lived his life.
Very true.
So
very true.
Maybe he would have lived his life to 75 and not been able to impact into people's life.
Possibly.
Yes.
Possibly.
Up to the time he lived his life.
Yes.
He made so many people happy.
Oh, true. Very true. As recently as last week, Monday, I got a phone call from a gentleman somewhere in Adamawa State who had to call somebody in Jalingo, Taraba State, to get my number. And all he was talking about for the 10 minutes or so plus I was on the phone was about, your father was a great man, your father made us happy, your father taught us a lot, he helped us to know God better. I mean, goose pimples all over my body. This was an early morning call from somebody I don't know. Yes, but it made my day. I recall youth service down in Akwa Ibom, and I wanted to be moved from where I was sent to somewhere else. I just got to the school and I didn't like the place. I just, you know, some people call it bad vibes. That was what I had about that place. I went back to the state director and wanted to see, it was a her. All day, she just would not see me and a few others. Eventually, a gentleman comes to see her, comes to her office, and he looks at me. And somehow in their conversation, he brings me up in the conversation. I don't know this man before, he doesn't know me before. But I get invited into her office and she's like, what's your name, Copper? And I tell her my name, and the man turns around, he swings and looks at me and said, I used to know somebody, Gani, in Lagos. A blind man, a good man. When he finished talking, he said, asked me, do you know anybody like that? I smiled, I said, yes. He said, how? You know him? He's your brother? I said, no, he's not my brother. He's my father. The man stood up and hugged me and then said something in their language. And that was how I got posted away from. Oh yes.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Okay, even though of course this episode is not really dwelled on you, but I think before we start, maybe we should know you a little.
My name is Andrew Gani Kilama, and I grew up to know him as father. Biologically, he is senior brother to my biological father. But we were told that there was this joke between the two of them before my biological father passed on, that my biological father would say he's too young to have two children. So let his senior brother take the children and leave him and his wife to be by themselves. The joke became a reality when my biological father passed on. I was about, 4 or 5 years old. And so I grew up to know Dad as father. And like I keep saying, when people ask me, so how is it being like having a father that is blind? I'm like, is he blind? The chukoboko I chop, who is small one?
You mean he was flogging you?
Oh boy.
And tell me, you will stand there for him to flog you?
Well, he had his own methodology about this. So he would hold you by the hand and take you to his bedroom, lock the door, put the key in his pocket, give you the dose that is required for the moment. And this was now, I was way past youth service when I now got to hear something that happened every time he beat any of us, flogged him, especially the first 3 of us. Like when we leave his room, he would sit down there and cry. Yes. I didn't know. I grew up feeling that this man...
What was the reason?
That he wishes his children didn't need to go do something that...
He will have to flog.
And he just didn't like flogging, punishing. Yeah. So later in life I would be like, Daddy, can you imagine this one did this thing and you didn't say anything? You say, well, I'm wiser now. Old age has caught up. So it was fun. It was fun for us, fun for me being the first of his children. He never looked at us as his nephews because the first 2, myself and my immediate younger, are from his brother. But he brought us up, treated us, and got us to the orientation that this is father. So we didn't, uncle. Who is uncle? Yes, that person is uncle, that person, this one.
No way. This is father.
Papa.
You know, he's been a good man from the scratch.
Oh yes. In my teenage years, I didn't understand because I just didn't like what was going on in many regards. But as I grew older, I came to understand him better because I was now working with him in his NGO.
Okay.
And I was working with him as the executive director, appointed on merit, not because he's the chairman's son or the founder's son. No. The board had a meeting. The young man is fit and able, and we want him to come and understudy you and learn what you have been doing. When we hear about people like Martin Luther, non-violence, I saw him living it. Because he would never raise a finger. I never heard him use an abusive word on anybody. Not even in joke, in jest. No. He was very forthright and he always spoke his mind. You can be assured of that. And he would joke that, look, I can't see your face. So no matter what your face looks like, I'm not afraid. I can't be afraid of you. So I will tell you my mind. And that was just him. He never kept a quarrel. Yes, there were situations, yes, that were very upsetting and all that, but he tried as much as possible to just resolve issues and to be at peace with all men all the time.
His life as a boss.
Yes.
Okay, so was that the reason why you decided to take over, as in continue where he stopped, or there are other reasons why you did not let his dream die with him?
About August 2009, he called me to his office. Don't forget, he passed on in 2011. Most of the time in the office, it's director. So when he calls that pet name in the office, I know that, better one land. You know, the tone has softened and the formality has been, yes. And he says, I want to ask you to make me a promise. And he says, life is moving on, I'm getting older and I will die anytime. I say, hey, is the topic death this morning? Please, let's change the topic. You are going to live for a long time to come. We're going to do great work. You're going to see your children's children. All those normal that we like saying to avoid the topic of death. He said, no. This morning, I want a promise from you. He says, I want you to promise me that even after I've died, you will continue to help people that are blind. By this time, I've worked with him for about 10 years thereabouts, and I've thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it.
You were very passionate about
my day and night were non-stop. He could call me at odd hours and he just wants to talk about a particular issue, or I just called you to check on you, how are you? So I said, oh no problem, I promise you, I will do the work, I'll continue to help people, and it's something I enjoy, and I've come to understand that this is not about any of me or you. It's about God helping us. And that gives me confidence in what we're doing. Okay, so he's sitting here like this and I'm sitting across the table. He says, come and kneel beside me. And I knelt beside him and he swung around and put his two hands on my head and blessed me. It was a pivotal moment for me that what I have committed to has been reinforced. A name came to my mind, and I had sat down and designed a logo and put 37 stars on that logo in a circle. 36 states of Nigeria with FCT. It's going to be a nationwide thing. It can be a nationwide thing. Oh, this is nice. I finished the design, closed it in my laptop, and probably forgot about it. Because my question was, how can this put food on my table? That was all I was interested in. And what was the design? Design for a logo for an NGO. The name that we are using today in this brand new NGO, Knowledge for the Blind Initiative,
was there.
2013 we founded what we're doing now. And my reason is because I'm keeping the promise that I made. So I'm keeping the promise. But at the same time, I'm finding fulfillment. Because 2013 into 14 into beginning of 15, it was basically setting up and talking to people that will be the board members and all those set up things. Just this year, I've got 2 new children into my life. One is 22 years old who went blind as he was trying to do his senior secondary school exams in 2016. He sat at home all these years. His father is blind, was not educated, so that was the thought. The family thinks that that is the path for this young man. By the time I sat with the uncle, when they came visiting and I got to know about them, they realized that this is not the reality. There's a different path. And it's not as expensive
As they think.
as they think. The second boy is just 8 years old. Born blind, born double cleft lip. His father and his mother are separated at some point in time. These things, they sometimes have other effects that we cannot understand. So for some couples, they decide they won't have more children. For some, the father will go get another woman because he thinks that this woman will only be giving birth to children that are blind. While we still have the pleasant case of some families, the husband and wife, they are together, beautiful, happily married, and they have more children. And like one that I know of, 4 children, all of them blind.
Blind.
Yes.
Have you been able to ask questions
Yes, we
based
asked.
on that?
We asked.
And what's the
We
response?
asked. For some, maybe the mother took some medicines that she was not supposed to take. For some, it's genetic. It came follow-up.
Really?
DNA related issues. Yes. For some, childhood playing. For some, the process of delivery led to complications. There are so many different reasons.
This is Against All Odds.
Okay, so we're still talking to Mr. Andrew Gani. We've heard so much from him, and there's so much more to learn.
Braille is one of the fundamental skills that a person that is blind needs. A second one is mobility, independent mobility. And we teach them that through a course that we call Orientation and Mobility. It's a worldwide course. And these are fundamentals that people that are blind must learn, no matter their age, if they want to still be productive, generally speaking. For some of them, they're not interested in being literate. But mobility, movement around on their own is important. So some years ago, we had a project with Dad in Southern Kaduna. It was sponsored by Sight Savers, a major international NGO. And we were able to teach 250 people literacy and independent travel and some basic economic skills. And of course, those 250 people, different homes, they had impact on not less than 10 people each, family members. That is the way it goes. So for each person that is empowered with knowledge, they are also empowering their families. So mobility is very simple, using the guide cane so that they don't have to wait for you that is sighted to guide them
Always
somewhere.
guide them.
Orientation is they understand the environment. They use sound, they use smell, then they use the knowledge which they have to memorize. And that's why people say, blind people, they know a lot of things. Because they have to depend on their memory. It's just logical. They cannot be looking at it all the time like you and I. Our eyes can show us what is far away. For them, what is in my immediate environment? When a blind person, the person that is blind rather, comes to the office, he's memorized the layout. Whose office is which room? Where's the bathroom? Where's the toilet? Where's the kitchen? In their homes. So they use their memory. Then they now understand how to interpret the environment. The cane is long and reaches usually to about the person's breast. That is the ideal height. If it's shorter than that, the person will have to stretch extra. If it's longer than that, it becomes a danger to the person also. So they use the cane and they flow it in a particular way as they're moving.
So can the cane be adjusted or something?
No, unfortunately the technology does not allow us to be able to adjust for each individual cane. But there are canes of different lengths. So there are children's canes that are about half the length of this.
Okay.
Alright? And it's complete. The handle is somewhere around here. It has the tip and the child flows with it wherever. For teenagers, there's another one that is about 3/4 of the full length. This is an adult length. If I was standing up, you would see, you compare it, right? This is an adult length cane, guide cane. And in the past, traditionally it was white color. That's why it was called the white cane. That had more than one of them. But now, in this millennium, everybody's funkifying.
Yes.
So we have pink canes. So when you see a pink cane, you automatically can guess, oh, this is a lady. And then the young ladies now, in fact, they funkify it with stickers and
all that
glitter and
wow.
you know, the way they do their nails. I mean, who wants to carry a white cane when you can carry a funky
cane?
Yes.
So it comes in different colors now.
It comes in different colors now. And some people go out of their way to even make it different colors. So they buy the white cane and then they mix stickers and put at different places, personalize it. You know?
Wow.
Just the same.
Everybody wants to fuck nice.
This is a mobility aid. So the same way you would personalize your car with the color that you like, maybe a sticker or two on the windshield in the front and the back. That's how they're personalizing their guide.
And one will wonder, they don't see. So why would they have to do all that? Go through the pains of, you know, decorating the cane and all. But I think it's a thing of the mind.
It's a thing of the mind, and it's a thing to appeal to the larger community. 2014, I did a short course. Our organization did a short course for young girls on beauty. We taught them basic makeup and personal presentation. Because, excuse me, some sighted guy is going to see this babe and say, look,
I want to marry
if no be you,
she
can. And it is happening left, right, and center. We were working, I was still with my dad in his NGO working some years ago, when a phone call came through from somebody overseas who had come to know about him. And the question was very simple. There's somebody, an African American here, who is looking for a bride that is blind to marry.
A bride that is blind to marry.
The man said that he had prayed and was told his wife is going to be a woman that is blind from Nigeria.
Woo.
And so they contacted Dad to ask him for guidance on how to go about. Yes.
That's love.
That is love, that is life.
That is life.
For all of us.
For all of us. Wow, this is so interesting. I have learned so much sitting here.
I'm glad.
I have learned so much. You know, life is just different. You open this and for me it's just a blank paper with holes as far as I'm concerned. You know, pinholes. But for someone else, this is a book to read.
Oh yes, it is. Remaining for you to wear a blindfold and learn how to use the guide cane. Did you just try to have a heart attack?
I almost did. I almost did. Oh God, I don't think I want to experience that.
No, just for 5 minutes.
5 minutes will be like forever.
Wait, it's like they don't take NEPA off in your own side of the country.
Do you know what it is like when they take light?
Do you know what it is like to live as a blind person?
It only lives in the imagination. Yeah. Let it remain there.
Let it remain there.
Let it remain there.
I understand.
Thank you very much. Of course, it's been against all odds on the Nigerian Television Authority. And I've had a fantastic time sitting here, you know, rolling from the documentary down to the interview. For me, it's been a fulfilled time. Yes, we're going to come back again to complete the work we have not finished. But for now, keep a date with us always on our programs on NTA. Same channel, same time. Thank you very much. Bye. As I walked out of Andrew Gani Ikilama's office, I knew that there was indeed light at the end of the tunnel for the challenged, because it is said, knowledge is power. Audio Jungle.